The cart began passing large estates. Everywhere they looked, they saw another huge, elegant home. They were all so bright and colorful, with pointed roofs that curved on the sides. Some were made from wood, others from brick, and some were covered completely in ivy. It was something straight out of a storybook, and Alex kept reminding herself that she was in one. "We're almost at the palace," Smithers said. The cart began to vibrate as the dirt path beneath them turned into a cobblestone street. Shops and markets started popping up on the sides of the streets as they traveled into the city. They shared the roads with other carts and carriages. Villagers and townspeople alike walked alongside them and went about their day-to-day routine of shopping and trade. "Are we there yet?" said Connor, stirring back to life. The cart rounded a corner onto a very long and wide street. At the end of the street was an enormous palace. "I'll take that as yes," Connor said. The palace took Alex's breath away. It was perfectly symmetrical and smooth, as if it were made of sky gray porcelain. 3 prominent towers in the middle of the palace shared a base with a gigantic clock large enough for the whole kingdom to see. The palace almost seemed fake. It was so majestic and was grander than they had ever imagined. "This is where I'll drop you off," said Smithers, pulling his cart and horse over to the side of the street. "Best of luck to both of you, young'uns. Enjoy the town." "Thank you so much," the twins said together. They tried to offer him a few gold coins as a thank you, but Smithers insisted that they save their money and then went on his way. The twins walked around the town for a while. Everyone seemed to be buzzing with anticipation for the ball later this evening. They found a small market and were able to purchase fresh fruit, vegetables, and bread. Alex kept trying to make small talk with every person she encountered, but most of the townspeople ignored her. Connor kept rolling his eyes at his sister. Everything she saw excited her. "I don't know how I'm going to survive traveling with you if you keep up this constant state of excitement," Connor said. "It's exhausting and it's really getting on my nerves." "I'm sorry," Alex said. "We've been around so many trees the last couple of days. I'm just so excited to see all the people and their, ooh, look at that doorknob on the building. It's in the shape of a slipper. Isn't that cute?" After a busy afternoon of sightseeing, they found a quiet hill that overlooked the town, and they sat under the shade of a tree. The sun was starting to descend, and the twins grew anxious at the thought of another day ending. "What's our plan?" Connor asked. "Let's see what the journal suggests," Alex said, and pulled it out from her school bag. She flipped through the pages until she came across the section about the glass slipper. "Cinderella's glass slipper is a very difficult item to retrieve. Her slippers, without doubt, are the most cherished possession of the kingdom. First, you must find a way into the palace. This is rather difficult as there is only one entrance. One of Cinderella's first acts as queen was to get rid of all the servant entrances so that when people come to the palace, they all enter as equals. Once inside, find a way into Cinderella's royal display room. This will also be difficult since no one is allowed in the queen's chambers without an invitation from her. The slippers are on display in a glass box on the top of a pillar in the center of the room. The slippers are not hard to remove from inside the glass box, but the room is under constant watch by 2 guards at its entrance. Find a way to be alone in the royal display room and remove a slipper quietly and quickly. Leave as fast as you can, because as soon as they notice something is missing, the guards will close the palace doors and you'll be trapped and taken to the dungeon to be hung upside down from your toenails. Best of luck." "How are we going to get into that palace?" Connor asked. Alex began to think of a plan, but she was distracted by a long line of carriages driving down the main street of the town toward the people. They were elegant and colorful, and each was of its own design. Each carriage had at least 2 horses pulling it, a coachman, a footman riding on the back, and a number of passengers inside. "The ball," Alex said. "We'll have to sneak into the ball." "Uh-huh," said Connor, contemplating this information. "And what are we supposed to wear? Look at us. We're not dressed formally enough, and I bet we smell really fresh after walking for 3 days straight with no showers." "I have an idea," Alex said. She opened their bags and took out their blankets. She grabbed hold of Connor and began wrapping the blanket around him, folding it strategically in certain places so it would stay up. Alex wrapped herself in the other blanket. "There," Alex said. "Now we look like we're wearing sensible robes." "We look ridiculous," Connor said. "Do you have any other ideas?" Alex asked him. "Do you think there's a fairy godmother hotline we could call?" Connor asked. The twins walked down to the main street. They followed the traffic of carriages toward the palace. The closer they came to the palace, the larger it grew and the more real it became. Many of the coachmen glared at the twins with bewildered and judgmental looks. A few passengers leaned out of their carriage windows to see what the twins were doing.